Wizards spell magic in the Legends of Mere Leander, a new magical children's novel that's been released and it's widely available. As the dark wizard Delverasteon searches the magical realm of Mere Leander in his thirst for the power of the lost magical entities, bringing chaos and destruction to the magical lands, when 4 ordinary children from our world accidentally stumble upon one of the entities, the dark obsidian gemstone, within the grounds of an old haunted castle, their adventures have only just begun. Dare they discover all of the magical entities before the dark wizard? Read the Legends of Mere Leander. An extract from Chapter 5. Meldrick, a rather forgetful wizard. You've been blessed with the luck to have been chosen by the dark gemstone. Those who will stop at nothing to hold it, in the presence of the other magical entities, once united, all of their powers magnify. Estraquesh, the changeling, looked about her out of the corner of her eye. The dark wizard was once a dragon lord, spoke Estraquesh, who will stop at nothing to take control of all this magical realm, and searches for the magical relics relentlessly. Jack swallowed. You do not want to cross him, stammered the old wizard, Meldrick. He's ruthless. He banished me to this tower of the castle and tried to discredit my magic. We need you to help us, said Estraquesh, to help find the remaining magical entities before the dark wizard, as in his hands there can only be a bleak dark future for us all. If you can help me get back to my home, I'll try to help you, said Jack, if I can. He added cautiously. The old wizard shuffled to the nearby table and leafed through the pages of an ancient thick book lying there. The pages flicked over while his hand hovered over them, as if they had a life of their own. Placing a finger above one of the pages, the wizard began to recant a spell, and threw some old bones onto the table. He smiled and looked up. Luckily the bones tell me this is the right course to take. We must help you. There's not much time. The dark wizard surely knows of your presence and that the obsidian gemstone is near. He knows of everything. The dark phantom chasing you was Seath, the emissary of the dark wizard. Meldrick cocked his head on one side for a moment thoughtfully. I think the dark wizard Delverasteon has already sent the dark phantom to find the obsidian gemstone again, and you with it. He was close. We must help you get to your home and your own time. We'll protect you. I may be a bumbling old wizard that's forgotten more than he remembers, but some of the spells I can remember do still work when they want to. He frowned. Meldrick looked baffled for a moment by his own words and then refocused. The dark gemstone, never lose it, for without that we're all lost. Now, boy, what did you do to get here? Meldrick asked, fingering his white beard thoughtfully. A noise out beyond the great oak door distracted them all. There's someone out there listening, Meldrick hissed. There was a knock upon the heavy door. Yes, shouted the old wizard, whirling round. The door creaked slowly open. What appeared to be a soldier, the castle guard, in ancient dark red robes and chainmail, stepped into the room carrying a poleaxe. The king has summoned you, my lord. The dragon jousting tournament has begun, said the guard. He bowed low and continued. The king and his court await your presence at the joust to perform, he coughed, your magic, and disprove before all the court that the accusations of the dragon lord, Delverasteon, that your magic is merely deception, that you are, as he puts it, a fake. The old wizard glared back at the guard, scandalised at his accusations and shocked at having to demonstrate his magic, which he knew to be faltering and unpredictable since his bump on the head. Yes, said Meldrick. I'll be right with you. Meldrick grasped his crooked willow branch wand and crystal ball to his chest with one arm, scooping up his book of spells under the other, shaking and quivering. He cast a glance at Estraquesh and Jack. Estraquesh suddenly transformed and flew to Meldrick's shoulder, his familiar spirit in the form of a night hawk. Jack quickly hid the dark obsidian gemstone in his pocket. Come along. The old wizard spoke haltingly to Jack. I could do with a little help myself at the moment, he said as he rubbed his sore head. The threesome trooped along behind the castle guard, following them down the tight spiral twisting stone stairways, along dim corridors and low arching roofs, and candle-lit halls. Finally a great oak door swung open, guarded by 2 more soldiers. They were suddenly engulfed by the roar of a crowd. Sunlight streamed down into their bleary eyes, unaccustomed to the brilliant light. Jack looked up into the skies above him at the castle ramparts and battlements above, manned with guards. The massive shadow quickly passed across his face, and Jack looked up into the sky. What an amazing sight! There in the skies above the jousting field flew not one, but two great bronze gold dragons. They wore harnesses, reins, and saddles of gilt, emblazoned with their riders, the Dragon Lord's colours, of reds, golds, greens, and blues. The dragons themselves outshone their adornments, though, their translucent bronze gold scales glistening in the sun. Trumpets sounded, and dragon riders swung their beasts around and began to fly at one another at great speed. Their jousting lances brought level and aimed at their opponents' chests. A screech pierced Jack's ears as the golden dragon let out a great cry as it swooped fast and hard at the bronze. Its rider, leaning forward across the dragon's neck, holding his lance high, struck his opponent full in the chest. The impact flung the bronze dragon rider backwards, jolting him from his saddle. The crowd gasped in horror as the bronze rider tumbled backwards from his dragon's back and hung upside down in mid-air, clinging onto the bronze beast with only a foothold tangled in his stirrup. The rider struggled, hanging in mid-air, trying to grasp the saddle and regain his seat. The bronze dragon began to slowly descend. The gold dragon and rider were victorious and swooped down from above around the castle courtyard, enjoying their victory in the crowd's whoops and cheers of applause. The bronze rider, although shaken, had managed to clamber back onto his dragon. The trumpet sounded again, signalling a pause to the joust. The gold and bronze dragons flew down to rest on the courtyard before the crowds in the royal court. Meldrick and Jack were quickly pushed unceremoniously forwards into the courtyard, and they blinked in the bright glare of sunlight. Jack looked up at the royal box above them. There sat the handsome young king with his beautiful queen. Upon her finger a large ruby ring shone in the sunlight. To the right of the king stood a shadowy figure in long dark robes, his face vaguely hidden by the cowl of a hooded cloak. The king stood up from his throne. "Here," he said, "in our short interval comes our royal court magician." The crowd cackled. The king held up his hands. The old wizard and Jack slowly shuffled out into the centre of the courtyard. Jack nervously eyed the dragon, breathing heavily, steering a wide path around him. They glared back at him while the rider dismounted. The golden dragon snorted loudly as it watched him suspiciously. "Show off," grumbled Meldrick at the dragon and his rider as he stumbled past. "Now, Meldrick," said the king, "you have served us long and true. Time has brought a new wizard to our court. The magic of the dark dragon lord, Wizard Delverasteon, is strong and bold. He's done much for our kingdom, and he claims your magic is now weak, of nothing but deception and trickery. He demands that you are banished from the realm. What say you, old wizard?" asked the king, and the crowd roared in dissent. Stumbled Meldrick as he gathered his thoughts. "This is slander. I will not stand for it," Meldrick cried angrily. The court and the crowd hissed and cackled. "Show us then," said the king. "Prove you are no pretender, that your power and magic are still strong and true. Show us your magic, Meldrick." The old wizard lifted his right hand, in which Zithirith, his crooked willow wand, was held, and began muttering a short incantation. As he thrust his wand forward, the tip glowed brightly, sparks and lightning dancing upon its tip into the air. Butterflies suddenly appeared from nowhere, fluttering about the tip of the wand, and then vanished into nothing. "Ah!" the crowd sighed in disappointment, and then there were guffaws of laughter. "Oh, septic toads!" Meldrick cursed as he stamped his foot in annoyance. "You see," shouted out the tall dark figure behind the king, the dark wizard, Delverasteon. "You see, he's nothing but a fake, an impostor. He can't even remember a simple spell." He laughed. "Banish him!" "No, wait," cried Meldrick. "I have a new spell." The crowd went silent. "Show us then," said the king testily. Meldrick turned to Jack and mumbled out the corner of his mouth, "If there is a time to use the magic of the dark gemstone, it is now. We need to get out of here." The old wizard began to posture, flailing his arms in the air in great circles and waving his hands, recanting a long incantation. Meldrick quietly whispered down to the boy, "The best way to convince a crowd of your magic prowess is with as much dramatic license as you can. Since you threw that rock to my head, my spells haven't been working so good."